Photograms are cameraless photographs. A photograph literally means a light drawing or a light writing. So at its most basic, a photograph is simply an impression on a surface made from a reaction to light. This is Henry Fox Talbot. He was one of the inventors of photography. In a lot of his first images, he didn't use a camera to make those photographs. So how does one do this? Instead of using a camera to project an image onto a photosensitive surface, you simply place an object over that photosensitive surface and then expose it to light. Talbot passed off this knowledge to a botanist named Anna Atkins. Typically, a botanist at this time would use botanical illustrations, but Atkins realized she could use the photographic process to make photographs of the algae. Let's use Anna's work as inspiration. This is darkroom enlargement paper. It's very important is not to open this paper in the light. You can only open it under safe lights. This is orthochromatic paper, and so it's not sensitive to part of the light spectrum, sort of the red, yellow part of the light spectrum. So it's okay to open under those lights, but not under normal lights. So don't open it until you're under safe lights. All right, now we've got the safe lights on. On the timer here, you switch to focus, and then you can see where your light is being projected. It's hard to see this under the normal lights. So this is important because this is where we will expose our paper. You can use the focus knob and the height adjustment knob to make this area bigger or smaller. In order to see if it's the right size, you can use your box. You can see it's about as big as a 5x7. I'd like to make it bigger just to have more room. So I'm going to raise this up and then adjust the focus to make this a little bit bigger. So now you can see it's plenty big. It's bigger than the box. Before you actually get your paper out, you can start kind of practicing your design. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle there. I want to set my timer to 20 seconds. So I'll go to the top one, which is tens of seconds, and I go to 20. Put this one, which is single seconds, at 0, and then tenths of seconds at 0. So I've got it set to 20 seconds. So you can see I've still got the light on. So I need to turn that off before I get started. So go over here to the switch, and I go over to time mode. You can see how that light turns off. Now this red light won't expose my paper, so this is safe to bring out my paper in. So I get my box of paper. You see there's a black bag in here. This helps protect your paper. I open it up and I pull out a single sheet of paper, and I go ahead and immediately close my bag and close up my box. Put this over here. Alright, on the paper, there's a glossy side and a flat side. The glossy side is the sensitive side, so you always do the glossy side up when you're working with it. So I put it under my specimen. Now you could print it like this. The only problem with this is that the specimen is lifted off the paper, so it will look kind of blurry. What we want to do is get a piece of glass and place it over the specimen and the paper, and it will smush down the specimen onto the paper. Now, we've already got the timer set to 20 seconds. This is all ready. You can also kind of press down to really get it on there. And I go ahead and hit the exposure button, and I let it expose for 20 seconds. Alright, now it's done exposing. I'm going to go develop it. Alright, now I'm going to put the paper in the developer to develop it. Glossy side up. Make sure you put it all the way into the water like I just did. and then kind of agitate a little bit like this. Very quickly you'll see the image start to come out. It's in here for 1 minute. After the developer, you put it into the stop bath. Make sure to drop it in so you don't cross-contaminate the chemicals. It's only in here for 10 seconds. Now you put it in the fixer. Again, drop it in so it doesn't cross-contaminate. It's in here for 2 minutes. Finally, you take it out of the fixer and you put it into the water bath. It's in there for 4 minutes. After the 4 minutes are up, you grab a tray. You put your finished print onto the tray, and you go take a look outside in the light. Alright, so now we have our print under normal light, and we're going to examine it. What do we think? Looks pretty good. If it's too dark, we can make a new print and reduce our exposure time. If it's too light, we can make a new print and increase our exposure time. I think this is a pretty good exposure time because you can see the background where nothing was blocking the light is a nice dark black. And then the specimen, the leaf, is a good exposure because the light went all the way through the leaf and you can see all the little details from the inside of the leaf. But it's not too terribly dark. If you brought this out of the wash early, you need to go back into the darkroom and let it wash until it's been washing for 4 minutes. If you're finished washing, you go over to the dryer and dry it. This is the dryer. And then you carefully feed your print right in the middle here. And don't ever put anything smaller than a 5x7 in here. Now in a few seconds, maybe half a minute, the image will pop out the other side and it's nice and dry. And that's basically it. Now, one thing to remember, if you kind of feel the surface of this print, it is sticky because it's still slightly wet. So make sure you never ever stack this with another print until it's totally dry, because it will stick. As you're working, you can store your print in a drawer. Again, side by side with the other prints so they don't stick together. And you can move on to your next print. The first print I did was just the one specimen, but you can also incorporate multiple specimens into a single print. And here's where some concepts of design comes into play. So I try to kind of simplify this when you're starting out, but two of the basic elements of art are line and shape. So as you're organizing your image, I like to think in terms of line and shape. So a line is a directional thing that, in art at least, a series of points, it moves in one kind of linear direction. And a shape is an area enclosed by line. So a linear object like this, which has it's more of a line than a shape, has a little bit more movement to it. And then an object like this functions more as a shape. It's got line within it, but it's kind of an area enclosed by line. So I might make a design where I have a shape, and then to create kind of the structure and balance of the image, and then a line to kind of add some movement. Do this one here. arrange it. And then I'm going to head and flip this so that the glass is on top. Should remember where the light was, up a little bit maybe. And put my glass on top. Something like that. And I'll go ahead and push the print button, and it will now expose for 20 seconds. All right, here's that print.